Hey guys, welcome back to No Catch Name. It's me, Ella. Today I am doing a tutorial. Please give me grace. I'm not an expert at doing tutorials, so if this one's not perfect, I'm sorry. But if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments or email me. It's always in the description. But today we're making a love cat, a big chunky one. As you can see, he's big. So for this tutorial, I used Big Twist plush yarn, which is a size 6, and I used a 7mm hook. But you can use any yarn and hook size. It'll just affect the size of your finished project. So let's gather up our supplies and head over to the craft table and make a love cat. Okay, so today I'm going to be using Big Twist plush. It is a number 6 super bulky, and for my hook I'm going to be using a 7mm. 7mm. Yeah, obviously you can use whichever yarn and hook combination you want to use, and that'll just affect your cat's finished size. If you use a smaller yarn and a smaller hook, your cat will be smaller. If you use a bigger yarn and a bigger hook, your cat will be bigger. Alright, so you can start with the magic circle, or you can start with the chain 2 method, whichever is easier for you. For ease, I'm just going to start with the chain 2 method. So you just make your slip knot like normal, and you chain up 2. And then in the first chain, you put 8 single crochets. Okay, I got 2 made, so real quick I'm going to put my stitch marker in the first one, just so it's easier to see. Especially with this plushy top yarn, it's a little hard to see your stitches. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now sometimes with the chain 2 method, there's a hole still right here. All you can, to fix that, you can just use your beginning tail. If I have a big hole, I will pull it through with my hook, and later when I'm finishing that item, I will sew the hole closed. But right here, that doesn't look too bad, so I'm happy with it. Alright, so that was round 1. Now for round 2, we're going to increase in each of these stitches, and I know this plush yarn is really hard to see. This is one of those yarns that the more you work with it, the better you get at it. You can go by feel, or a lot of times the hook will just find where it needs to go. So right here is my first stitch. I'm going to take my marker out. So on this first stitch, I'm going to put 2 single crochets. So there's 1 and 2. So that's an increase. Let me put my stitch marker back in this first one, little frog. So now we're going to put 2 single crochet in each stitch around for a total of 16. So I did 2, so in this next stitch I'm going to do 2, so it'll be 3, 4. The next stitch will be 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Alright, so that's the end of round 2. We have 16 stitches all the way around. So on to round 3. Round 3, we're going to be doing 1 single crochet increase all the way around. So on the first stitch, you do 1 single crochet. Put your stitch marker back. And then in the next stitch, increase. So do 2 single crochets in the next stitch. 1, 2. Okay, so the next stitch will be 1. And then the next stitch will be 2. Whoops. So now we'll just repeat that around. We've done it twice, so we have 6 stitches. At the end of this round, you will have 24 stitches altogether. So we'll start right here with number 7. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Alright, 24 stitches. Now on to round 4. We're going to be increasing as well. We still got a few more rounds of increasing to do. But in this one, we're going to kind of split it up to change where the increases are. Because as you can see here, you can see where the increases are just by the shape that it makes the circle be. When you split it up a little bit, it makes it smoother of a circle. So normally after you do one increase, the next round you would do one increase. But because we're splitting it up, we're going to do just one first. And put the stitch marker back. Then we'll do an increase in the second stitch. And now here is where we'll start the new repeat. So it'll be one single crochet, increase all the way around, and then there'll be one stitch empty at the end, and that'll go with the first one that we did. So we did one increase, so it'll be one increase. It's just one will be at the end of the round and one will be at the beginning of the round. That just makes it more circle instead of like octagon-y type shape. So now after we did our single crochet and increase, now we're going to repeat single crochet, increase all the way around to the last stitch. So it'll be single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single, increase. Whoops. Single, increase, single, increase, single, increase, single, increase, and then we will have one stitch left, so you just put one single crochet in that, and that just helps round it out a little bit. You can see now that it's a little bit more round instead of kind of octagon-y shape. Alright, so we got 2 more increases to go. So this next increase round, we're going to single crochet into 3 and then increase in the 4th. Oh, at the end of round 4, you'll have 32 stitches. So now starting round 5, do 1 single crochet and put your stitch marker back in there. So we did 1, so now we're going to do 2 and 3, and then in the 4th stitch we're going to increase by adding 2 stitches into 1. So this is going up by 5s. So we just did 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to increase by 5 all the way around, and at the end of this round you'll have 40 stitches. So that'll be 6, 7, 8, and then we increase 9, 10, and 11, 12, 13, increase, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, increase for 19 and 20, 21, 22, 23, and another increase, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, increase, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, that's an increase, sorry, I forgot to say that. And last one is 36, 37, 38, and then we increase in the last stitch. 39, 40. Okay, so we got 40 stitches. Now this next round is the last round of increasing. I believe it's round 6, and we're going to be increasing by 6 each time, so it'll be 4 singles and then an increase. But we're going to split this one up like we did with round 4. So instead of doing 4 single crochets at first, we're going to do 2. So let's do 1 and put our stitch marker back. 2. Now in the 3rd stitch, we're going to increase. And now we're going to repeat all the way around. We're going to do 4 single crochets, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the 5th stitch, we're going to increase all the way around until you have 2 stitches left at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4. Increase right here in the 5th. 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Increase. 5, 6. That stitch marker is banging around. 1, 2, 3, 4. Increase. 5, 6. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Increase. 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Increase. 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Increase for 5 and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Increase. 5, 6. And then we have 2 stitches left, so you just work those normally. So 1, 2. Those 2 stitches go with the first 2 and increase here. So it is 4 increase all the way around. It's just it's split up a little bit to help it be more round instead of pointy on all the increases. Alright, so that's the last increase round. Now we're going to move on to round 7, and it is where we add the ears. Okay, so where your stitch marker is at is going to be like the belly of the cat, you know, so it's going to be kind of facing this way. So in this round, we're going to do the ears, and they're going to be up here at the top, and then the feet will be at the bottom. Just wanted to explain that real quick. Alright, so let's start the ear round. So first, we're going to crochet 16. So let's do 1 and then put our stitch marker back. So that was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Alright, so now we're up at the top. And now for the ears. Okay, the ears might be a little tricky, especially with this plushy yarn. So for the ears, we're going to make them into the front loops only, which you can see here. So here's the front loop, back here's the back loop. Front loop, back loop, front loop, back loop. And then the next round, we're going to be working into the back loop only. You can either mark these with stitch markers if you're having a hard time seeing them, or you can just feel for it, because I promise you can feel it. Especially if you've been crocheting for a while, you'll definitely be able to find them. So first, in this first front loop right here, we're going to be making a half double crochet. So yarn over first, go into the front loop. Whoops. Right here, just the front loop. Yarn over again and pull through. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 of those. So that's a half double crochet in the front loop only. That leaves this back loop right here open for your next round to work into. And if you're uncomfortable, if you think you're not going to be able to find it, go ahead and throw a stitch marker or a piece of yarn or something in there so that you can find it easily on your next round. Alright, the next one we're going to do a double crochet. So yarn over insert into the front loop only, yarn over and pull through. You have 3 loops. So now you yarn over and pull through these 2 in the middle. You have 2 loops, so yarn over again and pull through both. So that's your double crochet. Chain 1, boop, and then do another double crochet into that same space right here where your double crochet was. So yarn over, insert into that same space, yarn over and pull through. You'll have 3 loops. Yarn over and pull through the first 2. You have 2, and then yarn over and pull through those 2. Okay, and then in this 3rd stitch, the front loop only, work another half double crochet. So yarn over, insert into the front loop only, yarn over and pull through. You'll have 3 loops. Yarn over and go through all 3 of those loops. There's a hair. Sorry about that. Alright, so that is the first ear. Looks a little different right now, but it'll shapen up here in a little bit. So now between the 2 ears there's gonna be 6 stitches. So single crochet 6 stitches, both loops, just regular. So 1, you kind of fluff your ear if you want to. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so here's your first ear and your 6 single crochets. Now we're going to work that same ear pattern just on this side. Okay, so the second ear is exactly the same. The next 3 stitches you're going to be working in the front loop only, leaving the back loop for the next round. So in this first one we're going to do a half double crochet. So yarn over, insert into the front loop only, yarn over, you'll have 3, yarn over and pull through all 3. The next stitch we're going to do the double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the same front loop only. So yarn over, insert into the front loop only, yarn over till you have 3, then you're going to yarn over and pull through the 2 middle. You'll have 2, yarn over again and pull through those 2. That's your double crochet, chain 1. Now we're going to make the second double crochet into that same stitch as this first double crochet. So yarn over, insert in there, yarn over and pull through. You'll have 3. Yarn over and pull through the 2. You'll have 2. And then yarn over those 2. Alright, now the last half double crochet in the front loop only. Yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through. You'll have 3. Yarn over and go through all 3 of those. Alright, so that's your 2 ears. Pretty simple. So now we're going to single crochet the rest of these stitches down to the stitch marker, which I changed out because that one was getting loud. And that will be a total of 20 stitches, I believe. So let's count them, make sure we're right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Woohoo! Alright, so here's how your cat's looking so far. Okay, so the next round we're going to be single crocheting just all the way around the cat, and we'll be working in the back loops back here. So let's do that and I'll show you how to find them. Alright, so let's take our stitch marker out and single crochet 1, and then put our stitch marker back. So that was 1, so now we're going to go up 15 more, so it'll be a total of 16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's a thread. 14, 15, and 16. Alright, so now that leaves us to our first half double crochet right here. So this is our first stitch that we worked in the front loop only. Here's our double crochets with the chain 1, and then our second half double crochet right there. Okay, so here is, if you bend the ear forward and you follow your half double crochet, your back loops are right here. So insert it. If it's you'll be able to find it. It's hard to explain on camera, but even in this yarn where it's kind of hard to see, you can still see them kind of popped up there. So your hook will be able to go in it fairly easily. So we're going to single crochet into that one. Your next one is where your double crochets are worked, so we're going to single crochet that one. And then right here's your second half double crochet. So at the base of it is the last back loop only. So that'll be 3 more single crochets right there in the back of the ear. So then we're going to fold the ear back up. Right here is the half double crochet. If you have a hard time distinguishing which one of these is single and which one's half, find your ear. You stick your finger in it. So there's a double crochet and then a half double crochet. So you know this next one here is your single crochet. You're going to work into it. And then that was 1. So then we're going to do 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're back to our second ear. Again, if you have a hard time seeing where your half double crochet is, just stick your finger into the ear where the chain space is. And you know there's a double crochet and then the half double crochet. So we're right at the half double crochet. So we're going to bend the ear forward. And when you bend it forward, it pretty much exposes the back loop onlys that you skipped. So right here's the first one. So that's 1. Then we're going to go into the second one, which is the one that the double crochets are worked into. 2. And then right there's the third one where the second half double crochet is. 3. And then we're going to bend the ear back forward. Find the hole. So you know this is a double crochet. This is your half double crochet. So that means this is the first single crochet. So you're going to work into the top of it. And then you're going to single crochet the rest of these ones. These should be 19 after the one you just worked. It's 20 all together. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We're going to stop right there at 16 because we're going to do a foot in just a moment. We're going to do the first foot. But before we do that, I'm going to pull up a little bit of yarn. You can kind of turn your cat around and fluff it. See right there's the ears. They pop up once you work in the back loops only here. So there's your ears. They're nice and popped up. They look cute. So back down here, after we finished the back loop onlys, we single crocheted 16. And now we're going to be to where the first foot is. The feet are made up of triple crochet bobbles, okay? So, and you'll be working into the whole stitch, not the front loop or back loop. You're going to be working in both of them. So first we're going to do 4 triple crochet bobble. So yarn over twice. So once, twice. You have 3 loops. Go into your stitch, yarn over and pull through. You'll have 4. Yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over and pull through 2 more. Okay, that's your first. So now you're going to stop right there. You got 2 loops. So you're going to yarn over twice again. And you can go into the base of that same stitch where you worked the first one. Yarn over and pull through. You'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yarn over and pull through the first 2. Yarn over and pull through the second 2. You'll have 3 loops now. Stop right there. Yarn over twice. 1, 2. Go back into that same stitch again. Yarn over and pull through. Now you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loops on there. So yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over and pull through 2 more. You'll have 4. Alright, this is the last one. It gets a little tight. So yarn over twice. Go into that same stitch again. Yarn over and pull through. Now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over and pull through 2. You'll have 5 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yarn over again and pull through all 5 of those. That's your first foot. It doesn't look footy right now, but it will in a little bit. I always use my finger to kind of push them out because sometimes they get kind of pushed back like that. So just kind of push it through with your finger. And once we go around the next round, it'll make it look more like a bubble foot. Alright, so now from there, sometimes this next stitch gets kind of covered up, so you might have to like squish it over. You should have 3 more stitches left of this round, so go into it and see how my stitch kind of got sucked in there. You just kind of pooch it back out there. There you go. So that was 1, 2, and 3. Alright, so on this round we added the 2 ears and 1 foot. On the next round we're going to add the second foot and single crochet all the way around the whole thing. Okay, so we're going to single crochet 1 and then put our stitch marker back. And now we're going to work the second foot. We're going to do it exactly like we did the first foot, but over here. So we're going to yarn over twice and insert into the next stitch here. Yarn over and pull through. Yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over and pull through 2. You'll have 2 on your hook. Yarn over twice. Insert. Yarn over and pull through. Yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over and pull through 2. You'll have 3 loops. Yarn over twice. Insert. Yarn over and pull through. Yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over and pull through 2. You will have 4 loops. Yarn over twice. It's the last one. Insert and pull through. Yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over and pull through 2. You'll have 5 loops. Then you yarn over and pull through all 5 of those. So that's your next foot. Find your next single crochet, and again you might have to kind of squish these over because sometimes they get kind of covering it. So go in here and do a single crochet, and see my foot got completely switched in, so you just kind of push it through with your fingers. There's his 2 little feet. Alright, for the rest of this round we're just going to single crochet all the way to the end where your stitch marker's at. It's a total of 46 single crochets. I'm not going to count all of those, that's a lot. I will just start it here and then I'll meet you at the end of the round. Okay, I single crocheted all the way around to the foot. I wanted to show you the top of the foot so you could see where your stitches go if you have trouble finding that. So I've done 40 stitches right here. So next will be 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, and 46. So I did 40, so here's 41. 42 is right before the foot. 43, you can, if you pull the foot kind of to the side, you can see it right there. So that's 43. 44, you do the opposite. You push it the other way. Right there's 44 on the other side of the foot. And then 45. And the last one is 46. The reason it's 46 is because this was really 1 and 2, but we started here at 3. So it's 46, 47, 48. But, okay, so at this point, let me pull up a little bit of slack. This is where I would suggest stopping and doing your facial features, because you have your ears and your feet, so you'll be able to decide where you want your facial features. So I'm going to probably embroider them on this cap, but you can use safety eyes, and let me grab my supplies and I will show you how to do both of those. Okay, so I went and I got some safety eyes. I'm not going to use safety eyes for my cat, but I'm going to show you placement for if you do want to use safety eyes for your cat. Okay, so right here's your beginning row, your round 1. This is where we will stitch the nose, which is usually just an X. You could also use a safety nose if you prefer. And you can kind of see where to place the eyes by where you put your nose and where the ears are. So if I were going to put safety eyes on this one, my nose would be there, my ears are up there, so I'd probably put the eyes. This is also something you just kind of play around with. You stick them on there. See, that's a pretty good spot right there, I think. So let's see here. That's round 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're in between round 3 and 4. And they're about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stitches apart. But these stitches are increases. So, but as you can see from the nose, this is round 1. Then right here's round 2 and round 3. So they're partially on round 3 and partially on round 4. when I do use safety eyes, I try to line it up with the ears and the nose. So that's where I would put them if I was doing safety eyes. Now, of course, these ones are kind of a little small, I think. Maybe I would use a bigger pair. But that's where I would put them if I was using safety eyes. But I'm not going to use safety eyes today. I'm going to embroider them. So I got my yarns here to embroider them. I got black and white for the eyes, and I picked out this color. It's like a darker pink. In brushed weight yarn to do the nose and the whiskers. So let's do those real quick, and then we'll do the eyes, and then we'll keep on crocheting. So I'm just going to pull off a little bit of yarn here and use my yarn needle to do the nose and the whiskers. Alright, I'm going to start with the nose because it's in the middle and it's just easier. So right there is your beginning circle. So basically all you do for it is you start in one corner of your beginning circle, pull your yarn through but not all the way, give yourself a little tail back there to tie knots with, and you just make an X over the beginning circle. So you go down at the bottom and then you come back out on this other side's bottom, pull it through, and then you cross it up and make it an X. So this is going to be the little nose. Again, you could embroider, if you wanted to, you could border like a triangle shape there, or you could use a safety nose. It's up to you. But I like doing the little X's. I think it's cute. So there's that. And again, like I said, if you're going to use your safety eyes, putting the nose on first will help you decide a good place to put the safety eyes. See, well, see, that's not good. That one's way too far up. But see right there. Look at that little face. That's a cute little face. That's also where I will determine to put my stitched on eyes here in just a minute. So now that I have my nose where I want it, I'm going to do my eyes. I'm going to embroider my eyes, like I said, and I'm going to use this yarn. This is a Chanel yarn. It's called just Chanel. It's by Premier. It's more like a size 5, but I'm going to use it in black and white to do my eyes with. Okay, so to do my eyes, I'm just going to go kind of where I want it. I put the safety eyes, and I'm going to come in from the back side and pull your yarn through, except a little bit to be your tail that you knot off. I kind of cut a lot, but it's better to have too much than not enough. Okay, so let's see here. So I'm going to go just a little bit down. Is that a good placement? Yes, okay. So I'm just going to go an inch-ish down. Inch-ish, is that a word? And go back up to the top. Pull it through. And I'm basically going to keep going in and out of those same 2 spots, building up the shape of the eye that I want by moving the yarn from side to side, using my finger to help guide it, and just build up the eye shape that I want. I do have an eye tutorial video if you want to check that out too. It's basically the same thing, just me showing you how to do it on a turtle. So I'm just going to build up my eye, and then I'll show it to you. Okay, I think that's pretty good for this one. I am going to add some white to it in just a moment, but first I'm going to, with my yarn, I put it through last at the top and just through the back. So it's on this side of the yarn, or the cat. I'm going to go over and find a good place for my second eye, which I think is right there. And then maybe here. If you don't like it, you can always pick it out and start over. I think that's good. So now I'm going to build that up off camera. You just keep going in and out, building up the size and shape of eye that you want. I would do it here on camera, but this is something I find it much easier to do in my lap than up on a table. This eye looks a little bit smaller. I'm going to have to build it down a little bit. But I'm going to shape this eye real quick, and then I'll show it to you. Okay, so there's the black eye of the eyes. Looking pretty cute. So now we're going to get some white. if I may end. This is the same type of yarn as the black. Won't need quite as much of it. Didn't need quite as much of the black either. Like I said, it's always better to have more than enough on your needle than to run out and have to take it out and do it all over again. So now I'm going to do the little white bits along the side of the eyes, and probably a little, like, I don't know what they're called, glint. So we're going to start down here at the base of the eye. Again, like I said, I do have a tutorial on how to do these eyes, and I'll link it below if you want to check it out. So this one we're going to kind of go this way, put it in at the top of the eye, pull it through. Like, that's already given like more character to the little plush. And then for the little spot in the eye, you just kind of come through the back of the eye a little bit. Make sure I'm not getting tangled up back here. I have done that before. And then you go in, but you gotta make sure not to go in right where you just came out, or it'll just suck it back through. You gotta have like a piece of yarn in between there so that it has something to hook onto. Pull that back through gently, don't pull too tight. Also got a fuzz. Alright. So there's his little eye, or one of them. Now I'm going to go over and do the same thing on this other side. Use your hands to guide the yarn, and it'll pretty much stay where you put it. Kind of fluff it around a little bit if you need to. Crocheting is a craft, so, you know, it's a skill. The more you do it, the more you find different ways to do it better, the better you get at it. So you just gotta do it and tweak it and learn as you go. I've been crocheting for 22 years and I'm still learning all kinds of stuff. So I feel like I accidentally pulled this part in a little too much. I always feel like my eyes don't look that great, but people always compliment them, so I don't know. Maybe I'm just, you know, you're your own worst critic. I'm not happy with this one's glint. It looks goofy, but I'm gonna still go with it. Anyways, like I said, you know, you can crochet for years and years and years and still have mistakes. Or not mistakes, just little, what's the word, faux pas. But anyways, that's basically the eye. I'm not happy with that one. What should I do to fix that? Let's troubleshoot. Let me pull it out again so I can kind of fluff it up. I think it's because they're different directions. Oh, good grief. Okay, so there's my eyes. I did fix that one a little bit. Alright, before we move on to the whiskers, let's turn this over and tie up some of these ends. Don't tie these too crazy tight because you might shift your eyes. Just, you know, knot them so that they don't start getting loose on the outside. I usually just knot them a few times. And you can leave your tails there, but for the sake of this tutorial and them not getting in my way, I'm going to snip them. I normally do leave them though, because I mean, it's just added stuffing. I'm going to tie off my little eye bits here. And then we're going to move on to the whiskers. This is the tail that I already also have tied off. So go ahead and snip that just out of the way. Okay. Oh, see, I messed up his eye. I just told y'all not to do that, and then I did it. But that's alright, because you just get your needle and you just pull it right back out. Ta-da! Problem solved. Okay, so now we're going to work on the whiskers. So we do still have our whisker color attached. I'm going to stick it on my needle. And now that we have the eyes and the nose done, we can kind of figure out where we want our whiskers at. So I think I'm going to come out right here underneath the eye. Let me make sure I didn't, okay. So like my stitch marker I might have got. And you want to kind of do it like at an angle. So I'll go in right there. You don't have to do the whiskers if you don't want to. They're optional. I think they are cute, but you know, some people might not like them, and that's personal choice. And then because we went in here, I'm going to just go down a little bit. Come out just a little bit down from there. And go back down close to where you first started. Boop. Alright, and I always do 3 on each side. I don't know. Cats have a lot more than 3, but it seems like most people do 3 on each side. Then you go down just a smidge more again, and this one also is going to be kind of at an angle, but pointing downward this time. So go down here. And that is that side. So now we're going to go to the other side of the nose and work out the next set. Try to keep them even, but like it's not the end of the world if they're not perfect. It is a handcrafted thing. And if you look at real cats, you know, none of them are exactly perfect copies of each other. Okay, boop. So now we're going to go over just a smidge right here. And we're going to go down to right there, I think is good. About to lose my yarn. And we're going to go down just a smidge more. And this one's going to be kind of at an angle. So I'd say about right here. Alright, so then tie off your last ends. You can definitely weave these in if you want to, but when I have my embroidery open like this, it's just so much easier to knot them. I just do suggest to do more than 1 and 2 knots. I usually do 3+ knots. Some people also put like a dab of glue on there. You do you. Okay, so now the facial features are done. Look at him. He's cutie. Or she. Whatever. So now, we're going to go back to crocheting. Alright. We're going to pick up right where we left off. There's little fuzzies everywhere now because of the facial features. Now this part is going to determine the length of your loaf cat. If you want him to be shorter, only do, you know, 4 rows of belly and then do the row with the last feet. If you want him to be a long loaf cat, do 12 rows of belly and then the back feet. So what I do, I usually do 8 rows. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start crocheting right here at where we left off and crochet all the way around. So it's 48. Each round will be 48 stitches and then we'll meet back. So I'm going to do 8 rounds of 48 stitches. And then I'll come back and show you how to do the back feet, the decreasing, and the tail. And then your cat will be done. So like I said, you can do as many rows as you want. But for this pattern, I'm doing 8. So you're just going to do solid single crochet rounds. 48 stitches each round. To build up his little body as long as you want it. So I'll meet you back here after I do 8 rounds. Okay, I'm almost complete with my last round of body. I've done almost a whole 8 so far. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm still on this 8th round. So this next part completely relies or depends on your tension, because you want your feet to be kind of lined up. I could tell you do it in the sew and sew stitch, but depending on your tension, your stitch could be over here or it could be over here, you know. So what I do, stop a few stitches short of your last round of body. So I'm 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches away from ending. And then you got your feet down here. So what you need to do is try to look at your little body and line up your feet. So in this case, my last foot, the 3rd foot, is going to be worked, and it looks like the 47th stitch here. I think that'll be good. Yeah. So let's go up to that 47th stitch, and we're going to work that 3rd foot right here into this one. So this is going to be back in the triples. So yarn over twice, insert, yarn over, you have 4 loops, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, you have 2 loops, so yarn over twice, insert into that same stitch, yarn over and pull through. You should have 5 loops, 1 2 3 4 5, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, you'll have 3, yarn over twice, go back in that same stitch again, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Got 4 stitches up there, so now we need to do it one more time. Yarn over twice, go back into that same stitch, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. You'll have 5 loops on your hook, so then you yarn over and pull through all 5 of those. Alright, that's the 3rd foot. So in my case, I only have 1 stitch left. Depending on your tension, you might have to move your foot around. Those look pretty lined up to me. You know, it doesn't have to be 1000% perfect, but I think that's pretty darn near perfect. Alright, so my next round, this is my round 8. It could be your round whatever, depending on how many rows of belly you did. So let's take our stitch marker out. And for me, I think I'm going to need to do, let's see, let's do 1. So I can go ahead and put my stitch marker back, so I don't lose my place here. 1 2. I think I'll do, I did the 1, so I'll do 2 and 3, and then I think I'm going to do my last foot right there, my 4th stitch. So let's do it again. So yarn over twice, insert, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over twice, insert, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over twice, insert, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Alright, we got 4 in there, so 1 more. Yarn over twice, insert, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You have 5 up there, so you yarn over and pull through all 5. Okay. Cat's getting a little hard to maneuver. he's chunky. Alright, you might have to squish it over to find your stitch there. Alright. We're going down to the end here. We're getting close. So I'm happy with his leg placement. If you're not happy with yours, you can always just rip it back and, you know, mess with it until you get it in the right stitch. Sometimes it's just 1 stitch off, so you can fix it easily. So now for this round, I'm going to finish single crocheting all the way around. And then at the next round is when we're going to start our decreases and also start stuffing. Alright, on to the next round. This is going to be our first round of decreasing. We're going to decrease the exact same way we increased, just reverse. So our last increase, if you remember, was single crochet 4 increase. So this one is going to be single crochet 4 decrease. And we're going to split it up just like we did the increases. So first we're going to single crochet 2. So do your 2 single crochets, 1, 2, and I'm going to go ahead and stick my stitch marker back in there so I don't lose my place. This is where it's really important to use a stitch marker when you're decreasing. Increases and decreases are more important. Actually, a lot of times during this regular crocheting, I don't even use stitch marker at all. I just go around until I can count up from like my foot or something. But when you're decreasing and increasing, you definitely need a stitch marker. Okay, so we did 2. So now we're going to decrease. Now, you're more than welcome to decrease in the whole stitch. Some people do that. I always do the invisible decrease, which is where you just work in the front loops only. So I go into the front loop of this and pull through the loop. And instead of finishing my single crochet, I'm going to go into the next stitch, pull through a loop, and then yarn over and pull through both. Like that. So that was my decrease. So now I'm going to start my repeat, which is where I single crochet 4 and then decrease. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to do that decrease again. So I'm going to insert my hook, yarn over and pull through, and instead of finishing it, I'm going to go right into the next stitch, pull through, and then finish my stitch. I think I did that off camera. I'm sorry. I'll do it again. So we do 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, decrease. So we go in, pull through. You have 2 loops, so you go into the next stitch, pull through another loop. You have 3 loops. Then you yarn over and pull through all 3 of those. So we're just going to repeat that all the way around till you have a couple stitches left. Okay, so at the end of your first decrease round, you'll have 2 stitches left, and go ahead and mark those. 1, 2. Alright, I think we're going to do one more decrease round before we start stuffing. I will tell you, this cat's going to need a lot of stuffing. And you got to stuff him pretty firmly. Alright, so for the second round of decreases, we are going to single crochet 3 and then decrease. So here's 1, 2, 3, decrease. 1, 2, 3, decrease. So that's what you're going to repeat all the way around. So I'll meet you back. Alright, I just finished my second round of decreasing. So now I'm going to go ahead and start stuffing. For this Loaf cat, this is a big chunky Loaf cat. You're going to need a lot of stuffing, and you're going to need to stuff it pretty firm. So I'm going to go stuff mine really quick, and then we'll come back and finish up decreasing. We're almost done. Alright. Lord, I'm going to have to re-angle my camera. This guy's big. Hello. He's chunky. Okay, I got him pretty stuffed, but I'm going to decrease some more and then stuff some more. That's your best option, is to stuff as you go. So when you stuff, you want to make sure to get down in the bottom where his face is at. And you want to make sure to stuff it in there and kind of pull it around the sides and stuff the middle. And then pull around the sides and stuff the middle. That will help you get like a dense fabric pillow. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyways, I'm going to have to readjust my camera because he's a lot bigger than I was expecting. I don't know. But we're going to go on to the next decrease round. This decrease round is going to be single crochet 2 decrease, and we're going to split it just like we did with increasing. So let's start with 1 single crochet. It's getting a little harder to maneuver at this angle that I'm at recording this. It's much easier when it's in your lap. Okay, so we did 1. Now we're going to decrease. Oh, I'm going to try to. And then this is where we're going to start a repeat. So now we're going to do single crochet, decrease all the way around. So 2 single crochets, decrease, and I'll meet you back. Okay, at the end of this round, you will have 1 unworked stitch. So go ahead and single crochet that. And then we're going to go on to the second to the last decrease round. So this one, we're just going to do 1 single crochet and decrease all the way around. So let's do our 1. Put my stitch marker back. I just realized I haven't been saying the stitch counts, but in editing, I will put them on the screen. I'm sorry about that. I wasn't thinking. Okay, so 1 decrease. 1 decrease. So we're going to do this all the way around, and I'll meet you back at the end. When you get done with this row, add some more stuffing. Okay, for the last round, we're going to decrease every stitch around. So we start immediately with decreasing. It's a little hard when you're at the end, especially when he's stuffed. So just take your time, and you can do it. So there's 1 decrease. Let's get my stitch marker. And move on to the next one. 2. 3. 4. struggling. 5. Oops. 6, 7, and the last one is 8. Alright, so right here, we're going to leave a decent long tail, especially if you're using a Chanel yarn. Leave a decently long tail if you're using a Chanel yarn, because they like to be splitty and crazy. This yarn's not as crazy as a Chanel yarn. It does break pretty easily if you really pull on it, but it doesn't fluff as bad. I still would rather have a too long tail than a not long enough. So we'll both finish that off real quick just by pulling that through and pulling it tight. So we're going to use this tail to sew up his little booty hole. So we're going to do that real quick, and then we'll make the tail and your cat will be done. Okay, I tried to adjust the camera a little bit. My tripod's pretty short, so I'm working with what I got. Okay, so put your tail on your needle. This is just how I do it. I go in through each of the stitches. So I go in through one loop of it and I pull it. Whoops, he's on his leg. And I kind of pull it tight as I go. So then I go into the next stitch. And then I go into the third one. And then I go into the fourth one. Just kind of pull it as you go. Because if you wait to the end to pull it, that's when you can put too much tension on it and it'll break. So try to keep it taut the whole time. And you know, sometimes I accidentally create a hole, like through here somewhere. If that happens to you, just use your tail to kind of sew them shut. That's what I do, and it works fine. Alright, now this yarn tail, I'm going to stick it out over here somewhere and leave it hanging there for just a little bit, okay? So now the body of your cat is done. He is crocheted, he is chunky, he's adorable. But now he needs a tail. He doesn't have a tail, so he needs a tail. So this is going to be a no sew tail, but you do have to weave in the ends. So if you count weaving in ends as sewing, then you do have to sew. But anyways, get your hook ready and your yarn. We're going to be crocheting directly onto the booty here. So put a slip knot, in your yarn and stick it on your hook. Now for tail placement. Alright, here's his ears and his back. Up here somewhere is where I like to put the tail. I try to put them between his ears. You can see up through here, so somewhere around here. And right here's the last row I did. I just kind of go between his ears and up from his booty, about to where my decreases start. Now this is your cat. You can put the tail all the way back here if you want to, or a little bit above there if you want to do, because some people put a little X there for the booty hole. Or, you know, some patterns have like a crochet tail that you stick off somewhere. I just like to do this tail because it's easier for me. And I don't like having to sew a bunch of things. So I go from where his ears are and kind of to the middle. Okay, so I insert my hook into his body. And I'm going to slip stitch my yarn to where I'm attached to his body. So now I'm attached. And I usually chain up like 11. So let's chain up 11. It varies, you know, between different feels for different cats. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Whoops, goodness. 10, 11. So now I'm going to single crochet back down my chain. So there'll be 10 altogether because you skipped the first chain. Go into the second one and single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm struggling. 9, 10. Okay, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the stitch next to where I attached. Just stick your hook into your cat and slip stitch into the body. Alright, so there's my tail. I'm going to snip my yarn with a bit of a yarn tail. Again, it's always better to have too much than not enough. Close that up there. Alright, so now we have our tail, and we have some yarn tails here. We're going to use these yarn tails and this yarn tail to tie off and finish him off. So there's his tail. If you had put it higher up, it would be, you know, more up. You could style it like that. Or you could do slip stitches to make it tighter. You can make it shorter if you have, like, if you're making a cat with like a bob tail, you know. Or like I said, you could also place it down here closer to where the booty will be. I just like putting it up on the back like that. Alright, so now to deal with these ends, I get a hook. This is a clover hook. I like to use a Susan Bates to weave in my ends normally because it just, I have easier luck grabbing the yarn. So I'm just going to stick the needle, the hook in anywhere. Pull it up to where my first yarn tail is. Attach it and pull it through. And then I'm going to go in that same hole down here and do the same thing with this other side. Stuffing comes out, that's alright, it doesn't matter. Alright, and then this is my tail from where I sewed in the end of my project. So I'm going to go in that same place and pull that tail up as well. It can be a little tricky sometimes. Whoops, see I dropped it. It's easier for me to do it with a Susan Bates hook. But I don't have one with me right now. Alright, so now they're all coming out at the same place. So now I'm going to knot them a few times together. Get them good and knotted up. And then I'm going to trim them all to a manageable length. And then you take your hook and you go into a different spot of the body. Bring it up to where they were at. Attach all of them to it and pull them. It's difficult with this hook. Pull them through, and as you pull them through, I kind of pull them off to this side to get them tucked in there, and then I just kind of do that so that it comes off my hook. And now my ends are knotted and they're in the cat's body. So there he is. There is your finished big old Loaf cat. This is a big chunky cat. You could always increase less. I increased up to 48. If you stop at 40 or 32 or 24, you know, your cat will be smaller. You will just have to tweak where you put the ears and the feet. But once you do this pattern a few times, you'll figure out how easy it is to tweak it to be the size that you want it. So you can easily do anything to this cat, make it different shape, different size, do the tail differently, do the feet differently, do the ears differently if you want. But there he is. He's cute and he's done. Here's a better angle of him. He is a big chunky cat. I love him though. And these are very popular. Everyone I've ever made and took to markets have sold so far. So I do not like the way I did that one. I just always have one that turns out weird. I will tweak that and make it better. But he's adorable. Little feetsies. His big old belly. See, I did 8 rows in the middle. So if you did less, he would be shorter. If you did more, he would be longer. But I love him. So there is the cat. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, please leave them down below or feel free to email me. And if you make any of these cats, I would love to see them. So please tag me on Facebook or Instagram or send them to my email. I would absolutely love to see your little cats. I'm going to hop off here and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye guys.